Hi everyone, welcome to our craft along today. We are going to make some eye pillows. So you're going to make something like this. You're going to make two of them in this video. We're going to be making an envelope style closure on a case to hold the inside bit, and it's filled with lavender and linseed, and mine smells amazing. Apparently they're very nice to put on a radiator to warm your face up, or to put in the fridge or the freezer if you've got a bit of a headache, or to just soothe tired eyes, and the lavender smells amazing. If you don't like lavender, you might want to just leave the linseeds in and then add a little bit of essential oils onto the case after, so you can smell like wherever you want. Okay, so to get started, either you have a kit that we've made up, or you're doing it with your own materials. So what you'll need to have before you start is you'll need to have two pieces. These are the inner bits, and they are 24 centimeters by 24 centimeters squared. So these will be housing your linseeds and your lavender. You need to have two cases cut out from whatever fabric you like. If you're doing this yourself, you might want to use some old bed sheets or some old clothing or anything you want. I would recommend that you use something that's nice and cottony because it feels really cool on your face rather than something too woolly. And you want something that's thin enough that you can smell the pretty lavender through it. So a couple of those, and they are 16 centimeters by 70 centimeters long. Okay, so they're going to make the cases. We're making one for ourselves today and one for a friend. So we have two of everything. Okay, you'll need a pair of scissors. Look, mine blend right in on my dress. You can't even see, oh, where did they go? Yeah, you need a pair of scissors. You'll need a piece of paper and a piece of tape so you can make yourself a little funnel. In fact, right now might be a good time to get that piece of paper. Just curl it around itself, get a piece of tape, and make your funnel now so you don't have to do it later. So you can pause this and do that if you want to, or if you have it in front of you already, you can probably roll it and stick it while I'm saying this. Okay. You'll also have in the kit pre-measured out bags that have lavender and linseed or just linseeds. They're also called flaxseed, so you can probably find them under either of those. I think they're called flaxseed in North America and they're called linseed here, I'm not sure. You can get them organic or non-organic. You can get brown ones, or you can get white ones, well, they're lighter colored golden ones maybe. These are just your general run-of-the-mill brown ones, mixed in with lavender. And each of these weighs, I believe, 224 grams. They were measured out by a 12-year-old, but they feel pretty much the same to me, so I think they are. Okay, and then your little tag from your kit, if you've got it. If not, maybe a ruler would be useful, or a tape measure. Because there's a little, if you can see it on there, I put 1 centimeter, because every seam we're going to do today, the allowance is 1 centimeter, so it makes it easy. Okay. Also, I've got an iron-on cotton setting, because everything's cotton over here, but you don't have to. If you want to press really hard and maybe just give it an iron at the end when you're done it, you can do that as well. Okay, so let's get started. Right, I'm going to start with these. We're going to do them at the same time so we can kind of do a bit of an assembly line. So you want to take one of these squares and fold it in half. Doesn't matter which way you do because it's a square. Okay, I could take my iron right now and make a really neat fold, but I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to do that. Actually, it sticks quite nicely, that calico. This is just an undyed cotton calico, cheap stuff that you can order online, but you could also use any other cotton fabric you've got because it's a smaller piece. You probably have something this size at home. Like I said, old bed sheets, pillowcases, anything that you've got around the house will probably work. I think it's better to stay away from poly cotton because if you want something that's nice and cooling on your face, I think it heats up more when it's got more sort of plasticiness to it, whereas this is a bit cooler, but it's up to you. Just be careful if you are doing poly cotton that your iron isn't too hot or you'll melt it, whereas these take quite a bit of heat before you do any damage to them. Okay, so I've just folded them in half like that, and now I'm going to take them into my machine. I'm hoping that you can see this. I'll show you as I go along. I'm going to do it in one continuous journey on my machine. I'm going to take it in 1 centimeter and I'm going to stitch across the top, find about 1 centimeter on the corner, and then I'm going to stitch down. So basically like an L. I'm using red thread, so it'll look like a learner L on my machine, but I can show you with my red thread so it's easy to see. Let's see if I can get my camera closer to the machine without dropping. Ooh, it's a little bit precarious, but okay, I'll give it a go. So starting from the folded corner, not the open corner, starting from the folded corner on one side, you're going to be leaving the top bit or the bottom bit here open. So you're only going to sew an L. Okay, so taking it from there, I'm going to find in 1 centimeter. Oh, I'm not sure if that's 1 centimeter from the needle, so I'm going to stick my little paper inside there. Have a look. No, a little bit over. There we go. Okay. Put my needle down into the fabric to hold it. And then, so many wires down here now. Okay. Okay, slowly and surely. Don't let it speed away on you, especially if you're not used to using machines. Oh, I'm slowing down because I'm near the end. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to put the needle down into it and swizzle my fabric around. So if I show you what that looks like. Okay, don't know how well you can see that there. I've stitched along the top. Okay, and I'm going to stitch along the long side now. I've swizzled it round. Okay, I've swizzled it round in here, foot down, not on the pedal, just on the presser foot. And again, 1 centimeter from the edge. Basically, it doesn't matter. As long as you catch both pieces of fabric, it doesn't really matter for this. Nothing in this matters that much, to be honest. There's quite a lot of room for error. It's a really beginner, easy project. Okay, so I'm going to get all the way to the end, and then I'm going... Again, slowly and surely. It's not a race. It's not a race car. Okay, I'm getting close to the end. Slowing down. I could go straight off the end, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go to the end and then I'm just going to stop just before the end. Put my foot down in it. And I've got a reverse foot or a reverse button on my machine. If you don't, you might want to just put your foot up, swizzle the fabric round and go back on itself if you don't know how to do backwards. If you do though, it's a nice little touch at the end, it keeps it from coming undone. Okay, and take it out. Use your scissors at the back of the machine to cut it. So we can see there, it's not perfect, look. Not even sure that's 1 centimeter, but it is there, and I measured it there. So I've just made a big L, okay? The top bit is open. Right, so now we're just gonna do the same thing with the other one. So you're an expert now. And if you've made a mistake, it's no big deal. If it's really messed up, save it for later. Unpick it or stop this video, unpick it and do it again. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to start the inner corner where it's folded, 1 centimeter in. And all along the short end. Stopping when I get near the end. Oh, there we go. That's about 1 centimeter in from the end. It's not rocket science. Okay, and then all the way to the end again. And backing up just at the corner so that we make sure it's nice and secure. If this is the first time you've used a sewing machine, it's a perfect project, like I say, to do this. It's only straight lines. And it's nice and simple. Okay. I'm using red thread because I really wanted to show you my stitches. It's not really the best color to be using on the colors I'm doing. Okay, so what we've got here, we've got these two. We could just sew along the top when we've put the things in. No one's going to see this. It's on the inside. But to make it a bit neater, we're going to turn it inside out. So the first thing I'm going to do to make it easier to turn inside out is I'm going to clip my corners, not the sewing part of it though. I'm just going to clip to just get rid of some of the bulk. Do you see there? Snip the corner off. Snip the corner off, okay? And I'm gonna do that at the top a little bit too. Snip that corner off. I just don't want the bulk when I try and turn it inside out, okay? I'm not gonna snip that corner though, because that's gonna fold in on itself. It's gonna be a little bulky, but that's okay. So clipping the corners, it doesn't need to be perfect, just a bit of clipping off there, just take a bit of weight off. Okay, and do that on the other one as well, so both of them. Clipping the corners, you can take any extra thread, but it's going inside anyway, so it don't really matter what a mess my thread is, or my sewing. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to turn it inside out. And this is when I wish I'd said, oh, and then having a knitting needle or something handy for the corners is also really good. But you don't need that, so you're just going to turn it inside out. You can just use your finger to push it. It's only going to have some linseeds in it anyway. No one's really going to see this bit. I think the cover is probably a little bit, make sure you're a bit neater on the cover if this is a bit. But by the time we get to the covers, you'll be an expert. Okay, so what you have is a little bag, just like that. You can do this by hand, you don't have to use a sewing machine, but it would just take such a long time to do such tiny stitches, especially when you're trying to hold tiny little linseeds in there and you don't want to do it so it's loose so they pop out. Okay. Same thing with the other one. Turn it inside out. Okay. Now, we could fill these up right now. What we could do are start our covers. What shall we do? Do you know what? I think we'll fill them. Shall we do that? Doesn't matter what order we do this in. Okay. I think it's easier for me to show you this on camera than it is to show you the machine. So I'm going to fill these by using my little funnel, and hopefully this is going to work. You might want to get a spoon or something. I'm probably about to make a really big mess because I haven't tried it from the bag. So first I'm going to undo the knot I made in this bag. Okay, these will get everywhere. So I'm going to try and, you might, yeah, like I said, you might want to use a little scoop or something to get this through. I wish I had thought of that. I'm going to grab a spoon. This is the problem, I'm ad-libbing something. Okay, I think this will just be a little bit nicer. So, scooping everything through your funnel, trying not to make a massive mess. I could probably stop this video so you don't have to watch me do all of this. Okay. I am starting to make a bit of a mess, but as you can see, it's filling up. So you want to keep doing that until you're done both of them. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so after tidying up all the linseeds I've just dropped all over my new worktops, that look like a bit like cat fleas, so I do apologise for the mess you've probably just made in your own houses. I have filled 2 little bags. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pinch the top bit where you filled it, and you want to just fold it over and press it hard, 1 centimetre. With your fingers is fine. So that's about 1 centimetre there. It doesn't have to be that precise. Give it a nice little push like that. It should mark it enough on this calico with my finger when I'm done. There we go. I could just stitch it up there, but it wouldn't be a very neat edge. So what you want to do now is fold those edges inside. It's fine on the one that you just did, and fold it back on itself to the same size. Just give it a little fold in. It just takes a little bit of gentle persuasion, and it should all go inside. Again, just make sure that you're going to need to catch both sides or it's going to spill out, so they need to be like that. So it looks like one of those coin purses that you push on the sides, like that. Hello. Sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch pretty close to the edge of this because I know that it'll have caught all 4 of those layers, okay? And I don't want anything escaping. I've already just cleaned up enough mess, really. Okay, so you want to carefully take it on your machine, whichever side you want. Get that presser foot down and the needle in. Now you might want to do reverse at both sides this time to make sure it's really secure because you don't want things falling out. So I'm going to go forward a little bit, backwards a little bit. Now forwards. It's not my neatest stitching ever, I'll show you in a minute, as long as it catches. As long as it's catching it, it's sort of pulling off my side there. I probably should have put it around the other way. That's okay. Ooh. The bulky end there just sent it off. That's okay, no one's going to see it. This is the inner bit anyway. Okay, see, I got really close to the edge. I didn't mean to be quite so close, but it was pulling it on there. I will snip the extra threads off. But again, you're not going to see them. Look at that. Those seeds aren't going anywhere. Oh, it smells amazing. Okay, second one. Same thing that we did before. Give it a good fold over at 1 centimeter and a nice press with your finger. I do have a hot iron behind me, but who needs to iron when they don't have to? Okay, and then again, push that all inside for a nice neat edge. Some of it doesn't want to go in there. I'm going to try and put the bag, if it's not too long, on the inside. There we go again. On the no, that's not going to work. I'm just going to have to hold it again and just be careful. If you do choose to use pins at home, which is what I would normally do, but I know that a lot of people, I just wanted to make it as simple as possible with as few pieces of equipment as possible. Pins do help. And you could have pinned that shut and just keep removing the pins as you go along. This is such a simple project that I'm trying to make it as uncomplicated as possible. So again, I'm going to go forward and back just at the edge here to make sure it's really secure, all the way to the end almost, well, all the way to the end and then back on itself again. Forward, backward, forward. And just make sure you're catching all the layers. If you don't, just go back and do it again. No one can see this bit, it's on the inside. Okay, there, look how bad my stitching is at the end. Look, I've done like a little zigzag. I didn't mean to do that, but who cares? Who cares? There are better things in life to worry about. A little bit of stitching. Anyway, it adds character. And then whoever you give this to is going to know that you handmade it. You don't want it to be too perfect, do you? Okay, so you could actually just stop there. If you use some nice fabric that you really liked, done. You got 2 of them, like bean bags. They do feel really nice. I've been using these a lot at night when I go to bed because my husband likes to read with the light on. And so I have one of these like spiky mat things that I lay on and then put this on my eyes. And it's just, oh, it's heavenly. And there's no light that comes in. Okay. Right, so now we're going to do the covers. So I'm going to start with one here. Quite a lot of thread on that one. Don't need that. Okay, so this is going to wrap around it. So what we're going to do first though is we're going to do some hemming on the edge. We don't want these raw edges. So we're going to fold it over 1 centimeter. Again, you can use your tag to see what a centimeter is. You can hold that on there. Let's see, what's 1 centimeter? Okay, fold it 1 centimeter. You can do it by eye. You can keep going along the edge if you want, like that, okay? And then you're gonna, if you've done 1 centimeter, just like that, you see, fold it over on itself again. So you've got it like that. So it looks like a little tube. Now, I have an iron, I'm gonna use it. Crazy, isn't it? I'll just along there. It'll just make it, it'll stay a bit easier now that it's got a really good edge on it, okay? Now, the other side, make sure you do the same thing into the same direction. So this, you can see, goes to the inside. So you want to make sure you do the same on the other side. I'm feeling someone in my family is about to walk in. Okay, and then you fold it over again. Okay, and again, I'll take it over to my iron because it's making it easier. You could just use pins rather than the iron and just iron it later. I think that's a little bigger than 1 centimeter, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm left with this at both ends. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to put it through the machine again, and I'm going to stitch near to this open end so that it's nice and neat. Take your time with this one because this will be seen because this is on the outside. Well, this isn't on the outside, but this along here will be. You wouldn't choose red to do a blue one because you can see every mistake. So I'm just doing this for your benefit. I would have used a blue or even a grey. Grey doesn't show up on most things. Okay. Just put that in there. And just take your time with this because you want to do a line that's nice and even, and watch where your foot is and where the edge of your fabric is and try and keep them in line. So just take it slow. Okay, right, so that's what you've got. My machine tried to eat mine at the start, so I've got a bit of a wobbly edge. I could unpick that and do it again. If I did it in blue, you wouldn't even notice. Oh, that's for my son, he doesn't care. Okay. Okay, and then we do the same thing on the other side. And try and focus on where the outer edge is because that will be what's noticeable against the line. So try and keep that the same distance from the foot. You won't see the other bit. Let's do it again. Take it slowly. Work your way to the end. There we go. And from the other side, other than the bit where it gobbled it up a little. Okay, there we go. So that's what we've got. On one side, we've just got a line of stitching, a line of stitching. And on the reverse side that you're not going to see, we've got the flappy bit. Okay, so that's one. One bit of one. Okay, my other one, it's got a pattern on one side, but not the other side. So I've got to fold inwards so my pattern stays on the outside. Okay, so folding towards the side that doesn't have the pattern on it. So again, 1 centimeter fold. Use your little card if you want to. Okay, press it really hard with your fingers. And then fold it on itself again. And either use the iron or just sheer determination. Okay. Then turn to the other side. Same thing again. 1 centimeter in. And then 1 centimeter back on itself again. Like a little tube. A little roll you're making. Okay, well, I ironed that one nicely. Okay, oh look, it even follows the pattern nicely. I'm not one for exact things or precision, so if that happens, it's usually just by accident. Okay, now, this is the fun bit. We're going to be stitching it, so we're going to turn it inside out again. So we're going to try it on. We're going to take our bag and we're going to put it in the middle. Now, turn your fabric so it's the right side up on your table. Okay, see that? My pattern, wrong side down, right side up. Okay, and I'm going to lay it on there. Then I'm going to take my bag and I'm going to put it in the middle. Okay, now there should be plenty of space along the edge now of it, so it's just in the middle. And then I'm going to fold it gently because we want enough space on the edges. Okay, fold it over itself gently. So it's not pulled tightly. You want to have a little bit of space for the bag to move either side inside. You don't want it really, really puffy so it just sits on your head like a brick. You want a little bit of space in there. So if I show you, I've just folded it over like that onto itself, okay? So my folding over bit, it's about even from both sides. So actually, if it's like that, then that's fine. So all I'm going to do now, and look, I've got a bit of space in the end. Do you see? It's not quite all the way to the end. That's good. You want it a little bit roomy. And also if you put it in the wash and you shrink it a little bit, then it'll still fit. Okay. Now I'm just going to gently make sure that these sides are up. My flappy side is up. I'm going to gently remove my bag, but keep it that same shape. Okay. It's like an operation. I'm holding it with my hand as I remove it. Okay, and then I'm just going to pat it back down in its little place again and smooth it out and make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, I might have to put my edges back together if you've got a bit popping out. Okay, just line it up. Don't worry if you've got a little bit that sticks over the edge, a little tiny bit like that, it won't matter. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Looks like a little bed. Okay, hollow inside. The other little flappy bit is in there. Okay, so we should have it wrong side out. I'm going to put that one aside for a minute, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Now, if you think you've sewn one of these a lot smaller than the other one, use the one that you're going to put in it. Mine are pretty much the same size. I've not done a bad job. So let's use that one again. Okay, again, I know my wrong side out. My wrong side is going to be down. My good side is up, and it's my good side because it just has the line and not the flappy bit. That bit's down. Okay, I'm going to lay that out down on my table. I'm going to put my pillow in the middle, and then I'm going to just gently, with space on either side, just gently fold it over my pillow like that. There we go. Check that there's some space in the ends. Oh, maybe not a lot. That's okay now. I'm going to hold my fabric together in its little tube and take out my pillow again. Okay. Now, because I don't really want mine, I'm worried that I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to wreck it. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to iron these so I know where it folds. But I'm just going to do it gently because it's going to fold the opposite way when we've sewn it. I'm just going to give it a little bit like that. So if it falls apart on me, I've got a fold on the edge where I know where it is. Okay, and I'll do that to the other. They're slightly different sizes, but they both hold the pillow and it doesn't really matter. Okay, so there we go. Now, we're going to go back on the sewing machine. And this is where you've got to make sure that you catch it all. So 1 centimeter in, you're just going to sew along one side and then down the other side. Okay? So putting it in the machine. I'm just lining that back up a little bit because one side, so that's okay. Give yourself enough space there, like so. Okay, so if I can show you that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Camera works terrible, isn't it? Okay, I don't know what you can see because I can't see it. But there we go. Okay, we're just going to go down each of the sides. Really straightforward. Just a straight line down the sides. I need one of those things I've got at work, one of those cameras that we use. As you can see, and hear what everybody's doing, and you can angle it. Sadly, I'm using an iPad, so it doesn't work quite so well. Okay, so I'm going to do, because this is the outer cover as well, I'm going to come back on myself a little bit at the start and at the end of each of these so it doesn't unravel. But do make sure you catch all of the pieces. first. Okay, holding it together. Again, pins would work quite well for this. Making sure I catch all the sides. It doesn't matter if a bit sticks out the edge. You can do a little bit of chopping after. Just trying to keep it that 1 centimeter or thereabouts. Not too much more than that or it won't fit. But if it's a little loose, that's okay. Okay, and I'm almost at the end of this side, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a backwards and forwards. There we go. Okay. So you can see down one side. So we turn it on to the other side. And I like to go top to bottom. Just reposition it a bit because if I had pins it would have held it a lot straighter, but yeah. This is a little bit wider out that side, so I'm just going to make sure that I definitely catch all of the fabric. If you don't, it doesn't matter. You'll find out soon enough and you'll have to go. You'll have to just turn it back wrong way again and just have another stitch at it. It doesn't matter. If you're sewing towards the open flap, just be careful that you keep it down and you sew over it and not inside it. Okay, this is where we found out if I caught all the layers. You see what I mean? Like when you're sewing along here, just make sure you keep that down if you're sewing towards that you don't get caught underneath it. Just keep that underneath the presser foot and you go over it. It's good to just take your time. Okay, now, I don't know if I've cut all the bits, but we'll soon find out. I didn't stitch that bit. Oh well. It'll be fine. I did on the other one. Oh well, it's a pink one anyway. I didn't really want red stitching on it. It's fine. Again, we're going to snip the corners. There's only little corners this time, so just gentle little bit of a snip off the edge there for each of these corners. Maybe getting rid of any excess threads you've got as well, because okay, a little bit of a snip, snip, snip. Okay, and now the other one. Okay, so again, starting at the top. Ooh, that one's gone a little wonky on me. Readjusting. Okay, I need to catch all of that in there. My machine keeps eating this fabric. I'm not really sure why. Just trying to catch all of those there. You can hear it going over it, catching all of the layers. Really important to catch all of the layers. Okay. So, yeah, you did sort of eat it again. Yeah, just down one side, down the other side. I don't know, I kind of like the red on here. Gives it a bit of stitching probably isn't good enough though to be using contrasting colours for it, but yeah. Okay, we're going down the second side. There we go, going over the fold. So this one I actually did stitch there. And again, now we're just going to do snipping the corners so that it turns inside out nicely. And hopefully if you caught all the layers, you're pretty much done. So well done for you if this is your first sewing project. And if you're an advanced sewer, you're probably better than me. It's just a nice easy thing. You can make something as a gift for a friend. So what we got to do now is we've got to turn this thing inside out. So you'll be using your finger to make nice tight corners, or need a knitting needle or something. So just turning it inside out. don't know what I've done to this. Oh, there we go. Trying to figure out how I've done that. There we go. It's a bit of a puzzle sometimes when you do that, but you do figure it out. I'm always mystified. Okay, so there we go, and then I'm going to stick my fingers in this bit all the way through. Oh, that's going to be tricky. I'm going to try and do it, bunch it up and stick my fingers through to try and get them into this other, the top bit. You'll just have to, you'll see what I mean. It's a little bit difficult, but you'll figure it out. There we go. Okay. Right, now it is a little bit wrinkly because I've just messed about with it so much. And I keep getting threads all over. I don't need that thread there, sticking through from the inside. There we go. Okay. So there is my case. I'm going to give it just a quick little iron because my edges aren't very good. Because I've just been messing with it. My corners also aren't very pointy, so I might go back later, maybe with a knitting needle or something, and just give it a little bit of a poke. Okay, so that's one. Turn the second one inside out. This is the one I forgot to sew. Why didn't you say something? I forgot to sew that bit shut. It's too late now. I can hand stitch it, I guess. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is easier to see which way is right way round because it's got a right side and a wrong side. So there we go. Get my fingies right to the end. Oh, that's a nice pointy corner. Look at that. There we go. And then the tricky bit is getting it all the way through this other bit. You just have to find a way to poke your finger in there. In each of these. It's still easier than putting a duvet inside a duvet cover. I say that, I haven't tried putting these in. So voila, the second case. And give it a little bit of an iron. Okay, right, so now this is the fun bit, trying to get these in. It takes a little bit of wiggling. So you stick it in like a pillow, and then find that pocket and try and tuck it inside, the pocket inside, but it's not going to come out easily anyway, is it? Okay, that's it, just try and get it in. I assure you it will fit. It will be snug, and a bit on the end is quite nice, because it's nice, it covers your face. Look at that. And this one. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed making these, and I hope that you keep one and give one to a friend, or give them both away, and you have a go at making some more if you enjoyed that. And if this is the first time you've used your sewing machine, then I hope you find lots of other lovely projects and makes that you can do with that. This way. I think it just takes a bit. I think I've sewn this one a little bit longer. Anyway. There we go. Fantastic. Right. Hope you've enjoyed making that along with us. This was in coordination with Village Made, which we run every year, but we couldn't do this year. So hopefully when we're all back and everything's normal again, we'll be doing craft workshops in real life in Uxbridge. So, right. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Go get yourself a drink.